Hello, beautiful. So, today I want to talk about how so many of us are feeling like we want to, or we are just done with healing. Like we are feeling the weight. Like the idea of healing is beginning to feel like an obsession. And we are feeling the need for it and the weight of it in kind of an unhealthy way. And it's becoming that the idea of healing makes us feel like a project that constantly needs to be completed. And it's taking us away from being a human who is experiencing life. And in my last video, I talked about pattern interrupters and how there were there seems to be other ways that get us from point A to point B while skipping the drive and using teleportation to get to where we want to go. And so let me wind back a little bit here because of this new format, not the new environment, as some of you know, which kind of fits in pattern interrupters. A few days ago, I moved temporarily to Quebec to be near my 90-year-old mother and spend some time with her, which I haven't been around for many, 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 many years, moved all across the country and the continent. And so this is a new environment here, but talking about pattern interrupters, this for me was a huge pattern interrupter to it was kind of forced upon me, the divine will or the wisdom of life and creator was kind of pushed upon me, but I was receptive because my lease was ending in Massachusetts, and I looked and looked and looked for so long in very creative ways, couldn't find anything to rent that I could either afford or could see myself living in. And then in a moment of surrender, I heard the intuition that, hey, why don't you try to find a place in Quebec, spend some time with your mom, go to the source of everything. Speaking of healing, the source of where all the childhood wounding has happened, and put your things in storage and go do this for a while. And I said yes. This is the new thing, but I want to connect it to this new format. You saw there's a new thumbnail that I'm going to repeat just with the title changing, the Unfiltered, a Splendid Mess. A Splendid Mess, oops, don't have a copy here. Splendid Mess is my book. It's kind of my message to the world. And I want to come here even more organically, less prepared, more just as my thoughts come. Today I have a few notes because I'm kind of nervous trying this out. But because I'm in my pattern interrupting um, um, mode, whatever, I thought I'm doing this. So here I am. Um, okay, I'm going to look at my note a little bit. So, but yeah. So for me, and I know for many people right now, the idea of healing and all the modalities that we've learned, that we've practiced, that we've studied, some of us or some of you that have taught it, the inner child work and, past traumas and repressed emotions and all these things, we've worked, many of us, a lot on that. But it feels like something's not sitting right now. I think the times are changing and the energy on the planet is changing, and the evolution of human consciousness is moving forward. And a lot of us are feeling it in the air, like something is changing. It's quite uncomfortable because we don't know what's coming up, but we knew what we did doesn't doesn't work anymore. And I'm finding that the way we've been approaching deep inner child healing and all the other traumas and things, um, modalities, are beginning to fall into an old way that is being called to change into something new that will not require us to dive so deeply in all these things. Now, I always say there is it is good to understand these things and to go and visit, and to, just like we learn language to be able to read books and get information, it's important to learn how how we developed our personality and how our past traumas affect us and all that. I'm not denying that. So there is a minimum, I guess, amount of that work and skill and knowledge that is relevant. But I don't think, or I do think, that there are other ways that are going to be more quantum, more divine, more immediate and enlightening, that are more connected to life force, to source creator, God, to quantum things scientifically. They're all kind of the same things anyway. But I think that we're getting closer to realizing, hey, we can jump right to that. And that's why something doesn't quite feel, I'm being a little redundant, I'm sorry, doesn't quite feel right about all those healing modalities right now. I saw the other day Instagram post, and it was something like, did we follow the wrong guy? And it's kind of the same questioning, because the person was saying that whenever that was, when there was either Freud or Adler, and Freud was talking about, I have it here, um, argued that we are shaped by our past and repressed traumas, essentially focusing on childhood wounds and keeping people stuck in analysis, Freudian analysis. That's where all the big therapy work has come from. And society decided to go in that direction. But at the same time, there was this other guy, Adler, that believed more that our current belief um, were creating our future. And I guess that would kind of be aligned more like with the Joe Dispenza people who talk about, I'm going to say, controlling or choosing all our thoughts and creating our future from that standpoint. Um, but it's kind of the same idea of the questioning, or wait a minute, are we really meant to keep going back and analyzing? Or are we just fueling those stories in us under the guise, under the excuse of needing to understand them? Because at some point we understand something, we get a release, we get a little shot of, happy hormones because of the satisfaction. We feel like we've moved forward because we understood another trigger and another story behind and where it came from. And it's kind of like an addiction because of the rewards that we get from doing that work. Um, there's another idea. I just did a short video about that. And there is a sentence, and you'll see how it's kind of connected. I see it connected anyway. If you have a mind a little bit like mine, you'll see the connection too. But there is something that was written that says, a crooked tree lives its own life, a straight tree becomes wood. I was just like, oh my God, like I love trees. And when we're in nature and we see these trees that are crooked, that have been struck by lightning, that a boulder came, and pressed on them and it went crooked, and they grow these burrs and sideways, and they are so magnificent. And yet, not only are they magnificent to look at, so we should embrace how all our all our deviations, but also they always find the light. They grow in magnificent ways, and they always find the light, and they keep growing. So there's another image in there that says, wait, is trauma and wounding all things that should be healed in order to evolve, in order to connect more with God. Oh, darn, I lost where I was going. Give me a second. Oh, no. See, normally I would cut here and I would think back where I was going there. Oh, yeah. So it's the idea that healing everything would make us grow straight. But is growing straight the only way to reach delight, to reach our fulfillment? Or is going straight kind of a conditioned thing of our culture that says this is how you reach your divine? You must peel all the layers in order to connect to your divine essence, to the truth of who you are. What if the truth of who we are is the whole thing? The lightning strike and the boulder and the parasite and anything else that happened to us. Anyway, I'm in this huge questioning. And many, I think, because of our exhaustion of all these healing modalities that keep telling us, you need to do this, you need to do this, buy this, buy this, buy this, and you need to do that in order to get to your true self. I want to say that, like I said, the times are changing. And I think it is quite okay to question all this because um, even if it's not the norm right now in the spiritual personal growth orbit, um, it's okay to be ahead of the curve. It's okay to be ahead of the teachers of the day. And if you are feeling this and you're not resonating with what you're being told you should do right now, I think it's okay. And don't question yourself. Know that what you feel is what you feel, and there is truth in there. And don't go thinking, but everybody else that I'm listening to keeps saying all the inner work we need to do. Maybe we're onto something here, and we are the scouts, the leaders, the ones that are in front, kind of discovering the new path or even creating it. Because what we're feeling it. And there's a whole bunch of us. And it can't be wrong because it feels real and therefore it is. So I think we're ahead of the curve and we should really applaud ourselves, respect ourselves, be gentle with ourselves, and allow ourselves to live through that muddled time because it's not easy, because we don't have a clear answer, but just to honor how we feel because there is truth in what we're sensing. So, okay, my first unfiltered video. It's going to go straight like this. No end screen, no nothing, no editing. Just going to upload with a thumbnail that you've seen. So what I want to say is I do plan on doing this more often. I'm going to learn to post these videos as premieres, which means so that when it actually plays the first time, I'm going to be watching at the same time as whoever shows up, and I'll be there to chat live with whoever's there as we're watching. And I've never done it, but I imagine that we can do it a few minutes after the video ends as well. So if you want to be notified when I'm going to go not live, live will come down the road when I'm more comfortable with this. But when I'm going to premiere the next videos, make sure to subscribe and to hit the bell to be notified of subscriptions. And I think you have to select something that says all so that you get the premiere notifications as well. So that's it for today. Welcome to Unfiltered, a Splendid Mess. Woohoo! I did the first one. I'm proud of myself. Go do something to be proud of yourself today. Go to bed tonight thinking, I'm proud of myself for doing this. Even the tiniest thing, something to be proud of yourself. I love you. You have a beautiful day, evening, sleep, morning, whatever it is for you. And I will see you soon. And then sooner and sooner because I want to come and be a lot more present with you guys. Okay, love you. Bye.